this past week, I had to issue out you an apology. I have sat down and I've watched every single Pierce Brosnan James Bond movie, and I've sat down and I've watched every single Daniel Craig James Bond movie. Now, the reason why I did not watch any other of the James Bond movies, because I'm sorry, but those movies are a little bit too outdated, and yeah, that ain't working for me. So
Okay.
just to retract what I said earlier about Daniel Craig being the worst James Bond, I'm gonna stand on that. But I will say this though.
Mm-hmm.
The movies are actually good. It's just him is the problem. Well,
okay.
I take that back. It's not him, he's the problem. It's the direction that the way they wanted to direct these James Bond movies. In previous James Bond movies, we've had an iteration of James Bond where it just jumps around, right?
Uh-huh.
So when we sit down, we watch Casino Royale, then end up moving to Quantum of Solace, and then Skyfall, if I'm not mistaken, and then Spectre, and then the last one was Time to Die or something. Not a Time to Die.
No Time to Die.
Yeah. So they're all in chronological order where you were required to watch every single movie. Now, if they would have called this movie something else other than James Bond, hands down, I'd be like, all right, bet this I can rock with this. But the fact that you put James Bond on it and you had Daniel Craig do some un-James Bond like stuff, for example, I'm sorry, bruh. You can't be simping for no girl throughout the whole freaking series, man. Like James Bond would never say that I love you, dog. Like it is okay. What it is.
Okay, I see you put him in a high regard, but I appreciate the apology. But I'm gonna be honest with you. James Bond has said this in several different movies.
What movie?
I can't remember the movies in time because you really kind of threw me off with this because I wasn't expecting this to happen. But I mean, overall, he's done it like a couple times in the movie. But on top of like 3 different actors as well. But also, you have to also understand that these movies are not in chronological order as well. They're all connected, whether you like to accept it or not. They're all based on books, but the timeline changes in every single story. So like, it's hard for me to think about all the actors who played the characters. Because I mean,
let's just okay. So I just want to point this out real fast because since the Daniel Craig James Bond has been in a specific timeline, where at first it's like this is where you're losing me. Where all right, we're gonna go ahead and go with a new Bond, a younger rookie Bond, but as we're transitioning, he's getting older and wiser and becoming a better agent. That's the description that I was given. But yes, it just seems like he does the same dumb stuff every single time.
See, that's also part of the evolution that we go as James Bond, because there's a lot of references to other movies with different actors that they talk about the past, and it's all connected. But it's just one thing about the whole James Bond thing that like you just got to take it with a grain of salt and how we go along. It's kind of like, not to go back to the MCU reference, but because you have different actors playing the same characters and all that. But overall, yeah, I get it. Like, you got to go with the material that you got handed to you. So I can see where you're saying with that, and I do agree with you because it's kind of hard to go back to watch all the old movies and then try to fit it into the timeline and then be like, oh, this happened first, that happened second, this happened, blah, 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 and then go back and be like, oh, I see what he did. It's hard to do that because at the end of the day, it does too much for like, a viewer to understand, even for myself. I love James Bond. Now, don't get me wrong. To go back and rewatch a lot of these movies, no. Some of these movies don't take themselves too serious because it was back in the day and all that. Everybody got their favorite James Bond, and don't get me wrong. It all depends on the era you were born in, and I'm not knocking the hustle. For me, Daniel Craig was my favorite James Bond. I grew up with Brosnan in the 90s, so don't get me wrong. I grew up with him. I like him. I don't hate the dude, but he's not him to me. You know what I'm saying?
So I would have no argument if you said Sean Connery, but
Sean Connery will forever be the GOAT, though. Then
after that, excuse me, take that back. Sean Connery or Brosnan, one A or one B. That's how it goes for me. It don't matter either way you want to do it. But like I said earlier, for Daniel Craig, for me, no. James Bond, no. But for your movie, okay, I can put all your movies at the top better than all the other James Bond movies I've watched. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you just would have said, if you just would have called the movie Top Secret Agent and starring Daniel Craig, I'm like, all right, bet this is a pretty good spy movie. I could rock with this. But you called it James Bond, and like I said, I ain't never heard no James Bond say he loved no girl and then sit back and be all blown that she betrayed him, which James and all the other James Bond has been the same freaking pattern, which I really don't want to make this about man and women. But at the end of the day, like, for real, he gets betrayed by the girl. It rolls right off his back. All right, bet, new girl. Let's move on. But he got stuck with he's been stuck on the same girl throughout the whole series. And then he turned around and have a kid with a different girl. And then turned around and married the girl. And then... I'm sorry, bro, but that's just not James Bond. That's not James Bond.
I mean, they were trying to humanize the character, and I see what they're doing. Every man has a weakness for that one woman. I mean, I'm not gonna fault it. It's reality. I mean, I don't care what nobody tells me. Everybody got that one girl, and
which one is it though? Is it Vesper or is it the girl he had the baby with?
I would say it's I would have to say the first one.
Bruh, the girl wasn't even his to have.
I know.
She had a dude. She told him she had a dude. No,
I really felt personally that the chick that he had the kid with, I don't think he really... I want to say he loved her, but I wouldn't say he was in love with her. So, like, the chick that betrayed him in Quantum of Solace was that one, bruh. She broke his heart. But I mean, overall, I see what they were, like I said, they were trying to humanize the character. Okay, cool. But okay, this is what I do give you this. Don't get me wrong. Pierce Brosnan's character was that nonchalant dude. I kind of felt, in my opinion, looking at it, if I was a spy, I wouldn't be that nonchalant. I feel like he tried to be that cool guy too much on the screen. Which, look, everybody got their own view on it. That's cool. If that's what you like, okay, cool. But when you're getting older and you're in your like 40s and 50s and you're still playing that nonchalant dude, like you don't care about your consequence, your action. It doesn't seem realistic to me. And it's no fault to him. He did what he could with the script. That's not no fault. I like him. He's cool. But Daniel Craig, he just had that swag in him, bro. I get it. He fell in love, but
ever put that word anywhere near his name. Don't ever.
But the only one who really had swag, like the only one who had like that swag, like that ultimate like OG, like I'm the shit, nonchalant. I don't need to say it. Was fucking Sean Connery. He was that dude. But Daniel Craig, I see what they did. They try to humanize him. Don't get me wrong. The first 3 movies were amazing. Now after that, the last couple movies, I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of was like, yeah, that shit was trash when it comes to story. Now, the action-wise, it was crazy. But overall, it's not the best. But I take Daniel Craig for what he got. He worked with what he got. I like it, bro. I can rewatch his movies over and over again. Pierce Brosnan, I can watch his movies, bro. I cannot knock him. Same thing with Sean Connery. I can rewatch his movies. Like Roger Moore, that's not my guy. He's got a couple movies I could watch.